listening to the How to Health podcast. Turn up that stereo, plug in those earbuds, or pull up a chair. It's time to master your health journey. Here are your hosts, Dr. Heidi Cook and athletic trainer Tyler Smith. Let's ride.
Howdy ho.
How are we this morning?
We are excellent.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Yes. Feeling more tired.
More tired.
Yes.
The baby is taking up some energy here.
Yes. And I was like feeling really good. I went to this last doctor's appointment and she was like, I've officially rounded the corner into the third trimester. Huzzah. And she was like, get ready to start, feeling low energy again. And I was like, I've been feeling so good lately. Like everything's been good. And I was like, maybe it just won't hit me. And literally this week it was like smack.
Smack. And no energy left.
Yes. Like my resting heart rate is elevated and I'm tired.
And I am exhausted.
But anyways, other than that, we're good. It's just like the other day I was like, I feel like I slept pretty good. And I was just tired all day. Sweet.
I've been sleeping great this week and I don't know why.
Wow. Yay. Good for you.
Like it's been really, have you ever had like really good sleep and you don't understand what you did differently? Like
yeah.
I had a couple nights where I went out and I like maybe woke up once because I had to pee and then like that was it. And then like my alarm went off and you're like, what just happened? Like I want to replicate it so badly. I just have no idea what happened that changed because I'm a very routine based person.
Yes.
But
I have those. It's like, wait, how can we do this again?
Yeah. How did I do that? So
yeah, I've definitely had those nights. I haven't had one of those nights in a really long time.
I was going to say, you may have not experienced that in quite some time. But don't worry, in like 4 or 5 years, you'll get to do it again. So
yes, I can't wait. Can't wait. How was your week?
Good. I was laughing. The past 3 mornings, I've woke up with Christmas songs rattling in my head. Because it's been snowing every single day in Boise for the past 3 days. So I sing them in the morning and Quentin does not find it humorous at all. He's like, Dad, it's March. And I was like, I know it's March. And there's an inch of snow on the ground outside. It snowed all day yesterday. From when I got up to when I went to bed, it just snowed all day long.
Happy March.
Happy March. And like my athletes, some of them were like, they're from Kenya and they're just give me this look like, what is going on? I was like, welcome to spring in Idaho. It doesn't really like tell you what it's going to do. And then it changes. It's kind of moody. It's shifty. It gets upset a lot. So
even if it told you what it was going to do, it would do something different.
It would be like, I'm going to do this, then turn around and be able to decide it was not, what it wanted to do and move in an entirely different direction. So
yes.
No, we got a busy week this week, which is weird. Like there's not a lot going on. There's just a lot of, I've become a victim of avalanches of meetings. That's all I have anymore on my schedule. And I'm sure you can relate because you have more meetings, but meetings and committees, that's my life now. Just meetings, committees, meetings about committee meetings. And then on the fun note, there's a couple, interesting. I'm doing a couple presentations in the near future. I'm presenting at a Boise State Women's Health Clinic.
Oh.
Because of my background, I'm the only male that's presenting, which is interesting to present as a male at a women's health clinic. But in some way, shape, or form, in my work, there's this thing called relative energy deficiency syndrome.
Yes.
That I have become an expert in. Apparently, people call me from across the United States to ask questions, which I never thought that would be my niche in life, but apparently that is.
Yeah.
Females, the menstrual cycle, and exercise is my wheelhouse. So
couldn't have predicted that, could you?
No. So I'm doing 2 presentations, one on the women's health clinic and then one at our District 10. So the athletic trainers are having a District 10 conference in Boise, Idaho in April, and I'm going to present there. So
Nice.
I'm just presenting all over the place.
Love that.
Which is funny because my son asked me about it. He's like, do you get nervous? And I was like, kinda, but at the same time, I've done it so many times. Like, it just doesn't bother me that much, but I know it really bothers him. So we talk about like when he had a choir concert, like I get really nervous. And I was like, well, just the more rehearsed you are going into it, the better it'll be. Like this whole, not the whole thing about how to do it. But
yeah.
My wife also, Lindsay, she's like, no, I would never do that ever. I don't like to speak in front of people. I don't want to do it. And I was like, well, I don't know. You just kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah, totally. That's really funny though. Sam was asking me, who was asking me? Oh, it was this weekend. I was in Gooding. It was not Sam. And they were like, do you get, nervous to like host these meetings or calls or like anything like that? And I was like, I think back in the day, right? Like when I was first doing it, just because like, you want it to go well. That's like the only thing. But like, once you've done it enough times, it's kind of like, here we are again, Yeah,
exactly. And I finally got used to, so I edit our podcast every week and I'd like to listen to it because I want to make sure there's nothing like that screws up or so, like so when the listeners listen, it's pretty clean and smooth for the most part. I finally got to the point where listening to my own voice doesn't make me cringe because when we started this and I heard my own voice, I was like, oh, that's terrible. What am I doing? But I'm better at it now. It's just second nature to me.
Yeah. I remember that too. Like when I very first started the podcast and then I would have to like edit it. I was like, this is torture to me to listen to this voice over and over and over. And I think everybody hates the sound of their own voice because it's not what they hear in their head, Yeah.
And the interesting part is I listen very intently to myself. So when I'm listening, like sometimes I'll get into a train of thought where I say like too much. And like, yeah. I'm listening to the podcast telling Tyler, stop it. Stop saying that. But when you say it, I don't even notice. Like there's no, like I'll pick up on one or two, but mine, I'm just like, you really, really need to stop doing that. So it's just an interesting, like hypercritical thing that you do about yourself.
So funny. In like editing guests we've had or whatever, I've only had one guest ever. I messaged him after because we're friends. But I messaged him after and I was like, holy shit, you had the case of the ums during the podcast and it took me 3 hours to edit it out.
I did that to myself once where I could see the blip. I knew when an was coming. And I just start cutting and cutting and cutting. I was like, and it hasn't happened much, but if I'm noticing it, then I just know that it's too much.
Oh, it was so funny though. Just, sometimes we get hit with the case of the ums,
Yeah. Ums or likes, which I remember from classes in high school when I'd take like speech or debate that you're specifically like not supposed to do. Like, because I'd have a professor that would count and then dock your grade every time you said like or Well, professor, I have my own podcast now, so guess what? I win.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks. Suck a lemon. I win.
It's hilarious. Well, good. I'm glad you have a good week. Busy week. My week is also horrendously busy. Just, trying to shove 5 days of work into, 4 days.
What is it? Five pounds of crap into a 2-pound bag or whatever the expression is.
Pretty much. That's how I'm feeling lately.
Just me in general. That's a good analogy for where I'm at in life.
Yes. Like mentally, my time, my calendar, and my body.
Just everything. Everything is. Speaking of which, what are our references this week?
References this week.
I find
So-
this fascinating because I've never heard of this before.
Yes. The fun, like retro one is a Kit Kat clock.
Oh, the one with the little eyes that go ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, and his little tail goes doo doo.
Did you ever know anyone that had that? I've seen it on movies, but I didn't know anyone that actually owned one.
I'm pretty positive, and I could be wrong, but I have a vague memory that my Grandma Linda and Grandpa Fred had one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's the fun retro one. And then the food this week is, drum roll, please. As we wait for it to load.
Hold, please.
A coconut.
Coconut. Boo. But that's just because I'm not a coconut fan. But yeah, that makes sense.
A coconut. He is 14.9 inches. Probably not our son, but
You know.
and weighs 2.7 pounds.
2 point. Nice.
He's really skyrocketing.
Is Gus going to be okay with the new addition? Have you prepped your dog about what's happening?
No. He's blissfully unaware as he chews on his bone next to me.
I wish I could live life most of that, just blissfully unaware of most things that are coming my way.
I really don't know how he's going to react. Because so my sister-in-law had a baby, and I was really nervous of like how Gus was just going to interact with her.
Yeah.
And he just like didn't even give her a second thought, like not even part of like his awareness. It was just like still on fetch, and every once in a while he would come by, and if she was like laying on the ground, he would like bring her his ball and be like, why aren't you throwing this for me?
This is your job here.
Yeah.
You're new here. You're new, but I'm going to break you in real easily. This you throw for me.
Yes, exactly. And so like that was totally fine. But then I got nervous again this Christmas when, she's like a toddler now. And like, she lives in a house with 3 dogs who, kind of somewhat let her like get up in their face.
Yeah.
And Gus does not like that. And so I was really nervous, but like they did a really good job together, and Gus loved her. And, we kept an eye on them and stuff to make sure she wasn't doing anything that would like, set him off in any way. But for the most part, he found somebody who would actually throw his ball for him 24/7. And she just thought it was the funniest thing of all time. So I don't know how it's going to be. Long story short, I think he will be unaware, but at the same time, I think because it's in his space 24/7 now, I'm curious to see how that goes.
When we brought Quentin home, we had 2 dogs at the time who are no longer with us, but like one of them was really cute. He kind of knew like the minute we put him in his crib, he would just lay in front of the door. Like he knew that like that was a new family member.
Yeah.
Like, I need to protect this bit. Like, so that was good. And he was just a good dog anyway. The other one was not that she ever nipped or bit or anything, but like at night when he'd get up to go see us, she would like jump on Lindsay because she's super protective and like growl at him because she just knew someone was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that was like a little worrisome because it's like, okay, relax.
Yeah.
But she just largely ignored him. Like she was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm just gonna. But our dogs now love him. Yeah, one of them loves him way too much. Like they're best friends, but she could be a lot anyway. So
yeah, I think I don't know. Like Gus isn't a very like snuggly dog. Like he's never gonna be the dog that like, lays his head on my pregnant belly and bonds with the baby before he's here.
Right.
Like I've seen dogs like that. And then, they get all excited when they're here and then like they snuggle with the baby. Like that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not his personality.
No, Gus is a border collie. He's a working dog and his job is fetch because we don't have sheep or anything for him to herd. But he is protective in ways, like he has a bed in our room and he always sleeps in his bed. But if Sam is gone and traveling, he always comes and sleeps between me and the door, which I think is so funny. Like, that's literally really the only time that he does that. Otherwise, he always sleeps in his bed. But then, yeah, on like nights that Sam's gone, he's like, okay, this is my job because he's gone. So like little things like that he does. So I'm curious if he does anything like that once he comes.
I mean, we have a Australian Shepherd, and she thinks her job is to herd the cats around the house. And no matter how many times you yell at Phoebe, she still does it, like nonstop. Just my job, these cats need to be herded, and I will tell them where they need to go.
Well, speaking of Phoebe, all of your animals are Friends themed, aren't they?
They are now, because we did lose our cat Buster last year, so they are all Friends themed.
Yes, and Friends is kind of what sparked today's podcast topic.
Yeah, I was watching one of the episodes the other day, short little intro for everyone, and they had it was that episode where Monica and Richard were in the room and he made the bed, but he didn't make it the right way. And then she explains all her craziness about why she does things the way she does. And then she asked him, well, what's your thing? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, my boyfriend doesn't have a thing. And so I thought it'd be kind of a fun little episode to do, is like, what is your thing, or that quirky little thing that you do that sometimes like people know, sometimes people don't know. Like for sure, I mean, our spouses could do a whole episode on like nonstop about the quirky little things, because Heidi and I are in similar situations. We've been with our significant others for, the vast majority of our lives, basically. Yeah. So they know pretty much everything about us to a T. So I thought it'd be fun to share with the group, specifically looking at like some health and fitness things, that quirky little thing that we do, just to kind of realize that even though we're health professionals, we have our own little nicks and knacks and things that we do that are imperfect, which I think makes everyone perfect, is their little imperfections.
Little neuroses,
little OCD-ish type things that we do.
Isn't that right? Neuroses, like your little neurotic tendencies.
Sure.
All right. You kick it off. What are some of or give me one.
So one of the things that I don't know why I have to do this. I just do. Like, so whenever you put a meal in front of me, any meal, if there are vegetables on there, I always eat those first, and I will not eat anything else until the vegetables are gone.
That's funny.
Like, or salad, anything like that's finished completely until I'm done with it before I touch anything else that's out there.
Why is it like get through the vitamins first, and then
I think so.
I enjoy the rest of your meal.
I think what it really resonates or goes back to is like I'm better now. Like I don't mind vegetables anymore.
Yeah.
But as most kids per se would go through that, I didn't like them growing up. And like I remember super fondly being stuck at the dinner table because I wouldn't finish them. And I was like, you're sitting here till you finish these vegetables. So I think what I did was train myself to eat the things I don't want to eat first. And then, so I used to be really bad about this. And my wife used to laugh. Like I would eat sections of my plate one at a time. I would not.
Say, are you once you get through the vegetables, do you have like maybe a little bite of potatoes, a little bite of steak, a little bite, or do you eat all of your salad, all of your potatoes, all of your steak? Because I feel like there are two different types of people in the world. And
I used to be that way, and I'm kind of changing now. I'm like, just because I was more self-aware, and I really asked myself, like, why do I do this? Like, why do I do this part, then this part, then this part? So the things that I still do, vegetables or anything like that, has to go first. And I usually save the one that I like the most for last. And then anything in the middle, I can just throw in there back and forth.
Whatever happened to life short, eat dessert first?
I mean, that would be great. I
think Sam does that sometimes. So like I'll make I'm really gonna out myself here. I make like salmon and rice and then like a vegetable usually. And or sometimes like it's salmon and rice and then like it's like a veggie stir fry with like the salmon over top or something like that. But if it's all separated, like salmon, rice, and a vegetable, Sam will plow through the vegetable completely first. Where I like to get like a little bite of salmon, rice, and the vegetable kind of like all in one. And it makes this delicious medley. Now, I will say the only time I don't do that is when I make Brussels sprouts and the Brussels sprouts aren't good. I don't know if anybody out there has a secret on Brussels sprouts. I feel like they are so good 50% of the time, and the other 50% of the time they suck so bad. and they're like dry and just horrible. Like, and I can always look to Sam. He'll put like one in his mouth, and I know if it's a good or a bad Brussels sprout night. And you can see it written all over his face if he's like, but that is the only time that I will eat in sections, is if I like make a vegetable on the side and it's less than delicious, and then we're purely eating for nutritional value at that point.
I mean, I have a solution for that, and that is that I don't eat Brussels sprouts, so I don't have that dilemma in my life.
When a Brussels sprout is good, it is good.
And when it's not, it's like eating dirt from the ground.
Basically. Well, I also have family members who eat in sections and like refuse for their food to touch.
I'm okay with that. The food can touch. I don't like to mix it, but it can touch. Like, I'm just gotten past that point in my life where that's a stress I don't need.
Yes. And I always wondered, like, I guess I've never asked her this, but like, you know, if there were times where like her food was touching, she had to basically like start her plate over. But like at a restaurant, right? Like how many times, like when they plate your meal, it's like, you know,
you ask for like 4 plates. I need each thing on a different plate, please.
Yeah, I've never asked her how she goes about that. Anyways, yeah, I feel like you just basically identified the 2 types of people in the world, and I'm very curious to hear what other people are, if they're eat by category.
Eat by category.
Eat by number.
By number group.
Dinner eaters, or if they are bite of this, bite of that group.
I think the only time I break that, though, is like if we're at a restaurant and we order like an appetizer, I will eat that. But like specifically, like one thing that is, it's just like it pains me. Like it creates, like sometimes I just get frustrated. Like, you know, when you're out eating and you order a salad and they bring it with your entire meal, I'm like, I want the salad early. I want the salad first.
Yeah, I feel like that's normal.
I mean, sometimes it's not, and they bring it out at the same time, and I was like, no.
I don't like that. I want to eat my salad first.
Yeah, especially since I have the vegetable complex anyway, which I don't know. Half the time when you're in a restaurant, I don't consider a salad a vegetable because it's like iceberg lettuce with like carrot shards and croutons, and you're like, oh well, you know, not the greatest, but at least I'm trying.
No, I think that's a good one, because I think a lot of people can tap into being a eat by category person. I'd say so. Mine, I really like developed, you know, a morning routine for myself. Right? Sure. It's great. It's wonderful. This goes both ways, nighttime routine and morning routine. While there are things that can ebb and flow into and out of my routine based on how much time I have or the day or maybe even the season, right? Like in the summer, as it starts to get nicer, I try to get outside like, earlier in the morning, those types of things. But there is one pillar of my morning routine and one pillar of my nighttime routine that I literally cannot not do. And I don't know what it is, but I will feel so off. Like I just feel like my day is going to be a disaster, like almost like superstitious in a way. Like I feel like I don't know if superstitious is the right word, but it's like almost if I don't do this thing, then my day is going to be horrible. Like almost like bad luck in a sense, but like not. I just feel so horrendously off. And in the morning, that's making my bed.
I mean, I do that too. Although we have this funny debate. Okay. I make the bed like every morning.
Yeah.
As part of like let's be, like get things done. But it's kind of like we had a debate and a struggle because I would make the bed and then Lindsay would come home 15 minutes later and go to bed. So unmake the bed and go to bed. But like she can't go to bed if the bed is not made.
Yeah. So yes. And like that, like this morning, I was ready. And was about to come downstairs to record the podcast. Would have been on time, but I was like, no, the bed has to get made. So instead, I was 3 minutes late. Like I can't not make the bed. I don't know what it is. And then like on the weekends, if Sam sleeps in longer than me, because like he gets up super early all week, and then like if we're home on the weekend, like Saturday is his day to like catch up on sleep and sleep in. And so sometimes for the most part, Sam and I will like get up at the same, time and, kind of like start our day. But on those days, sometimes like, I'm like, okay, I can't just lay here and rot in bed. I need to get up and do something. So I'll let him sleep. And then I go like start my day, and I will literally like, I feel like I'm like pacing around waiting for him to get out of bed so that I can go make the bed, because I feel so weird being awake knowing that the bed is not made.
Well, I mean, he's still sleeping in it, so you got to kind of wait. There's like a time period where you should not make the bed with him in it.
So that is my morning routine, neurosis. And then my evening routine, I have to shower before bed. Like,
I mean, I do that if I work out, but like, that's about it.
That is like a non-negotiable, no matter where I am. If we're on vacation, if we're staying somewhere else, like this weekend, we were at my sister-in-law's, shower before bed. In-laws, shower before bed. Like if I go to bed without a shower, I just lay there and think about how dirty I am. And like, how do you guys, for me, I think it's such a wind down. And in some like weird metaphorical sense, I feel like it like washes the day off of me.
Sure.
And I can be like reset and fall asleep. Like I will just lay there and be like, my day didn't end. I didn't shower.
I didn't shower.
So yes, those are my morning and nighttime routine.
Interesting question based on that.
Yeah.
I would be more interested with Sam. Like, I assume you guys have sides of the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But when you're like in a hotel room, like if Sam is in a hotel room, does he sleep still on that side of the bed, or is he just like, I don't care, I'm laying down?
No, we've talked about this, and I'm the same way actually. So we have our sides of the bed, but if we're in a hotel room by ourselves, we usually will pick like whatever is next to the nightstand if there's only like one nightstand.
Okay. So regardless, like you're not like, no, I still need to sleep on my side of the bed.
Yeah. If we're in a hotel together, we do sleep on our same sides of the bed. But like when he travels, he will, I think, switch up if like having a nightstand takes priority over side of the bed.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. You know how sometimes there's just like the one nightstand?
Yeah. I mean, yes, but most of the time since I'm on the road with work, I usually have like the two beds, and then like one is like my treatment, like gross, let the athletes lie in a bed, and the other one is my personal bed. Please don't sleep in it or jump on it. But
Yes.
it doesn't always happen because sometimes I have multiple people in there at one time. So
Delicious.
yeah, it's fun. They're very hygienic, not usually. So
What's another neurosis? Man, I'm going to get sick of hearing myself say that word. So,
okay, this is going to sound odd, and it doesn't sound as aggressive as it comes out. But when I'm working out, like lifting, I don't know why I do it. I have to at some point, like, so I'm in my garage back and forth.
Yeah.
I kind of do this like weird, like headbutt thing against like the garage door or a wall every single time I work out. Like, it's not aggressive, but like when things get tiresome, I'll like take a deep breath and like tap my head like against the wall and then go back at it. It's like a reset for me, and I don't know where it came from, but I do it all the time. Like, I'll like go over and like just do this little like deep breath, like tap the wall with my head, and then I could go back and do my workout.
That is ridiculous. All I'm picturing is just you in your garage just banging your head against a wall. How Tyler copes with life.
And it's not like I don't like hit it hard. It's just like this like deep breath, gentle tap, and then I can go, like I just do a little tap, and then I can go back and go back and do my workout. But it's like, I was trying to think if it came at a specific time, and sometimes it's when things get tough and I just need to reset for a minute, and like, you know, when you're lifting heavier weights and you're like, okay, let's go. But other times I'm like, sometimes I just do it for like just as a reset, like in general, like it just a deep breath, and then it's like, I don't know where it came from. I have no idea. It's just something I do.
That is so odd, and I'm here for it. I literally just can't get the image of you just banging your head against the wall.
I mean, there are days that probably does happen. I'm not going to lie to you. Just sit there and like, oh, God. But I'm not like a screamer or yeller, you know, like people in the gym that'll like, I'm just quietly, introvertedly putting everything inside, and then just deep breath and a tap and move on.
It's ridiculous. That is so funny. I have a workout one. So I know that my workout counts, even if I'm not wearing my watch. I know this.
Uh-oh.
I know this. But I work out in the mornings, and oftentimes, maybe not often, maybe like 25% of the time, I will forget to put my watch on like as I'm getting ready in the morning, and I will get down to the gym because it's like the first thing I do, and I'm like, damn, I don't have my watch on. And then of that 25% of the time, maybe 50% of that 25%, I already have my cycling shoes on. And so instead of taking off my cycling shoes and going upstairs, which our stairs are wood.
Oh, yeah. So
I will leave my shoes on and like grasp the sides of the staircase because I'm like slipping and sliding everywhere, and then I will crawl to my bedroom and grab my watch and then go back. I'm just taking my shoes off.
So you made it infinitely harder than just taking the shoes off. And then are they Velcro or are they like lace?
They're Velcro. I stand by this choice in pregnancy, but before that, it really had no justification. Like, the, like the number of times that like I've clipped into the bike and then like I go to hook up my watch to the bike and like there's nothing there. I'm like, oh, gotta go crawl upstairs.
I have to. Why does it have to be crawling? That's what I don't understand.
Because our floors are hardwood upstairs, and like A, it's hard to walk, and B, I don't want to scratch up the floors.
Interesting.
You know?
I mean, yeah, but we could also just take the shoes off and do a quick, like it would probably take half the amount of time to like actually just take the shoes off and not crawl. I'm just picturing you like on all fours, just like.
You gotta get much, but it, you know, I stand by my decision because the shoes are already on. If the shoes come off, you know, you always say that like lacing up the shoes is 90% of the battle. And I'm not trying to
Rebattle. We're not starting that battle again.
start that battle. So the shoes stay on and I crawl to go get my watch.
I mean, if whatever works and gets it done, I guess we got to tip our cap to it. So,
And then once I make it downstairs, it's carpet down here, so I can walk.
but also picture like when I have athletes and they have their spikes on and like they go somewhere where they know the spikes can't touch and they have like this over exaggerated dorsiflexion and they're walking on their heels like penguin walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will do that sometimes, but the back of my little cycle cleats have like two little knobs.
Okay.
Very hard to like balance on that.
So crawling it is.
So we have resorted to crawling.
Resorted to crawling. Well, it works. Hey.
So there's a peek into my morning. Heidi's just crawling around in her house. What's another one you've got?
So this is like kind of a little bit more, I have to do. So if I have some sort of like physical activity plan throughout the day,
Yeah.
and anything interferes with it, like I get a lot of anxiety with that. Like I will be like, nope. Like if I'm scheduled to run, lift, and anything in life like interferes with that, my anxiety levels go up because this is probably I don't want to say unhealthy, but fitness is such a part of my daily routine. When that part of the daily routine gets removed by anything, it creates anxiety. So I have to do a lot of like purposeful, momentary, like self-talk to be like, Tyler, you're going to be okay. But it is a long conversation with myself to realize that having a day with no activity, and some of them are not like I vary intensity, so I don't go like crazy every day. And I'm getting much better at it because I used to come from the school of like, well, if you're not dripping in a pool of sweat, we didn't accomplish anything. And now I'm learning like even like I said, one of my new favorite things is like 15-minute, 20-minute workouts are actually pretty nice. Like I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
But if someone's interjecting anything in life, like meetings, like I'll look at my schedule and I'll like have to literally have a discussion up here. Like, do I need to do this? How important is this? And if like, you're going to be okay if like, we just can't get it a workout in that day.
Yeah, that's fair. I think a lot of people are like that. And I like, as long, you know, I think for a lot of folks, it's the like almost frustration of like the fact that here's a thing that relieves my anxiety or just like helps with my mental health. And it's being replaced by something that's likely going to frustrate me.
Yeah, it's going to create more stress in my life and I have no outlet. That is a big outlet for me to, like you said, you know, you have like a shower to like wash off the day. Like my workout is sometimes that for me, like, okay, let's just not think, let's let things go. And it's also a time for me to like reflect. Sometimes when issues or problems come up, if I give myself space and time to think, I can kind of work through them a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it 100%. And I'm sure there are lots of folks out there that can that probably share that tendency with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I know I have way more.
We'll just call Sam real quick and then be like, oh, okay, this one.
What are my strange? No, he'll just start listing off like pet peeves, like I make the cap of the toothpaste very messy and it drives him gross. Drives him gross. It drives him crazy because he thinks it's gross. Um but in terms of like my health and fitness routines, I think this isn't I feel like this isn't that weird. I feel like most people are like this, I think. Like
Question mark.
Even before like Stanleys were a thing, like
Yeah.
I had my like emotional support water bottle. You know, like the vessel that like just goes everywhere with you, because if I like sit down to a task or something and I don't have the opportunity to drink water, all of a sudden my mouth is dry, I'm panicking. Never been more thirsty in my life. And so now I have, you know, various vessels, but like I don't go anywhere. Like even like from upstairs to downstairs. Like if I was upstairs and then I come downstairs to my office and I forgot my emotional support water bottle, I can't start. I have to go back upstairs, get it, and come back down because I won't be able to think about anything other than drinking water.
I don't have that, but I'm notoriously bad for not having water with me at any point. And so I understand it must be a thing because I see people carrying them around everywhere nonstop all day. But unfortunately, for my health, I haven't gotten on that train yet like I probably should. I have a water bottle. It's always in my backpack. It's just always empty. Unless I'm...
So you actually just have an emotional support water bottle that has no actual functionality.
No. I mean, when I'm on trips or at track meets, I always try to drink water because like I feel like I get dehydrated. But at home, nope, I carry it with me at all times. So maybe I do have it. It's just non-functional. It's just a water bottle to help me remind myself to drink water that never works.
Yes. I have one for you.
Sure.
So a lot of times we sit down to record, or like in the evening, or when we used to record in the evening more, I feel like it happened more. You'd have your smoothie, like your post-workout smoothie, and you always like flip the like little shaker top thing and either stick your tongue in or suck the stuff out of the like inside of the cap.
Do I? I don't even realize.
Before you're able to like actually drink your smoothie.
Okay, well, yes, that is true. But that's because like, I don't know if you've made one of these, but like it starts to separate. And if you don't like shake it a bunch, like it's just all like that foamy weird stuff. And it always gets on the top. And probably the reason I do that is it'll get like on my mustache or my nose. And my wife will be like, hey.
That's hilarious. But yes, every time like you get in a routine of, you know, you shake it X number of times, you open the thing, you lick the thing, then you drink your smoothie. You shake the thing, you open the thing, you lick it, you drink the smoothie.
What's funny is I did think of one on the opposite end for you that made me laugh was I've never... Heidi has so many different organizational things, just like books, tabs, and everything. And it's like I laugh because she's late to most stuff. And I was like, but she's like hyper organized to a point where she's like, I got tabs, I got notebooks, I got this. And then I was like, but no, like I could just like, yep, she's going to be a few minutes late. That's how she is, which just makes me laugh because you're like, you have so much intent and focus on your organization. And then you get behind. It reminds me of like my doctors. They just get behind and you're like, there's no catching up. There's none. It's just going to keep rolling that way all day.
Probably my worst quality. And what drives Sam the most crazy, because he would rather be 45 minutes early to something than 2 minutes late. And I'm just like,
Well, it's just funny because it's not like you're not one of those people that's just like, yeah, I'm late all the time. And you just like, no, I don't try to be on time. I don't try to organize. Like you are hyper organized and it's still just, it's like you fall behind and then it just.
and then everything's fine. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I do try my very best, but some mornings you're 2 minutes late because you have to make your bed. And, some mornings you're 3 minutes late because a different meeting ran 3 minutes long. So
and sometimes those happen, and it's like I don't know.
You can't even say like, oh, sometimes that happens, because I would say more consistently than not.
Is it as bad? Like we harass my sister and my family. It's like, so dinner is at 5 o'clock, and we're like, we better tell Ashley like 4:15 or 4 o'clock because she's like, you just know it's good. It's 30 to 45 minutes out every time.
That's hilarious.
Yes, I just outed my sister on the podcast of her tardiness.
I love it. Let's head to the sauna wrap up, and I have some fun trivia for you.
Welcome, everyone. It's time to head to sauna. Let's dive in.
Let's go. Okay. Well, today was a fun, light-hearted episode. Really just wanting to, we've all got our things,
We've all got a thing for sure.
We've all got our things, and when you've been creating habits and routines long enough, you're going to have your things as well. But, embrace them. Allow them to become a part of your journey. And really, I just want to hear what everybody else's neuroses are to make me feel less crazy for crawling through my house.
I was going to say, yeah, it's all part of what makes you, you. So if it's crawling on your floors to get a watch or tapping your head against the wall to reset for the day, I mean, as long as you're still functioning and everything's great, I mean, we all have these little quirks, which kind of makes us imperfectly perfect.
Exactamundo. All right, you ready for some trivia?
I am.
How many times a minute do you blink on average?
20.
20 times. Wow.
Boom. I was going to say 30, but I feel like that's a lot.
Trivia over.
Trivia done. 100%. We're there.
That's over 10 million times a year.
You think if we expand our horizons here, we might make like really good partners for a trivia night at some restaurant bar scene. We could be really pretty good at this.
Hell yeah. Yes, I agree. Oh, I don't know how to ask this in a trivia question. Earwax is actually a type of blank.
I don't, for some reason, the only thing that comes in my mind is fungus, but I'm not sure. Like, that's probably not right, but.
It's actually a type of sweat.
Sweat, huh?
I need to fact check that.
I mean, I should know this because I've had 6 ear operations on my ear, so.
Why is this in every trivia or fun fact website I go to ever about how many bathtubs you could fill with saliva?
I don't know.
It's on every single one. Ooh, this is disgusting. Ready for this? The average nose produces about how much nasal mucus every day? It is a unit of measurement.
Every day?
Every day.
6 ounces.
1 cup. So close.
Close.
It's the most filthy thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know what's going on with our video right now, but it's lagging just a little bit, and it looks like I'm watching an old Japanese video where like they'll talk really fast and then the voice will come out afterward. Well, I'm trying to like not make eye contact and laugh because everything you say is like a second delayed behind where it's coming through. So,
my apologies. If you walked for 12 hours a day, it would take the average person how many days to walk around the world?
I don't know because I would figure the average walking mile somewhere between 16 to 20 minutes, somewhere in there. So that'd be 3 miles if I'm guesstimating an hour, but I have no idea how like around the world it would be. So for 12 hours a day, 10 years.
690 days.
Oh, okay.
Not even 2 years.
Not even 2 years. Wow.
Walking for 12 hours a day every day for not even 2 years.
For not even 2 years. That's doable. We should try that.
We should try. Wow. The surface of your skin is replaced every how often?
I want to say 28 days, but that may be wrong.
Every month.
Yeah.
Nice job. Which means you have about 1,000 different skins in your lifetime.
What if we just shed them like snakes where you just peeled off a layer?
I am so immature. I can. Sam thinks it's the dumbest thing. Like, nothing makes me laugh more than a fart joke. I don't know why.
I can't tell you why. Farts are just funny.
I couldn't even get through reading this fact without laughing. Okay, last one. On average, you fart enough in one day to fill what?
To fill, fill like, is it like a container or room? Like, what are we looking at? Like filling?
Up to you. Do you think you could fill a container or could you fill a room?
I mean, how much probiotics have I had that day? Because some days, I don't know, a average sized bedroom, 10 by 10. I don't know. I don't know what else to reference that with.
A party balloon.
Party balloon? See?
I can't get that image out of my head.
A party balloon with just farts in it?
Oh, God, help me. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great week. Hopefully you had fun listening to today's episode, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.